Ever swiped right on Tinder, only to end up in a situation you never imagined? Picture this. You match with a guy who seems quite the catch. He's an accountant working in the hustle and bustle of downtown New York. Not bad, right? As you exchange messages over the course of a week, the anticipation builds. His charm and wit keep you engaged, and he seems genuinely nice. The conversation flows seamlessly, and you find yourself looking forward to his messages. Then, he pops the question. No, not that question. He asks if you'd like to go to dinner on Saturday night. And not just any dinner, mind you, but a date at a fancy Italian place. The kind of place where the pasta is handmade, the wine is top shelf, and the ambiance is straight out of a romantic movie. Sounds like the perfect start to a new romance, right? If only things had stayed that way. Ever thought sweatpants and a t-shirt were the perfect attire for a fancy dinner date? Well, let me tell you, this was the exact fashion statement my Tinder date decided to make. Picture this. I'm standing there, all dolled up, and in walks my date dressed like he's about to run a marathon, not dine at a posh Italian restaurant. My eyebrows shot up, my heart sank a little, but hey, who am I to judge? Maybe he had a rough day at the office. So, I decided to take it in stride, brush off the initial shock, and proceed with our date. We made our way to the restaurant, engaging in small talk, trying to keep the awkwardness at bay. But then, the real twist came. You see, when we arrived at the restaurant, he didn't lead me to the entrance. No, instead, he guided me towards the back, right near a dumpster. Yes, a dumpster. And then, with a grin that I can only describe as unsettling, he pulled out a takeout container of old pasta and declared, "Dinner is served." My jaw dropped, my eyes widened, and I couldn't believe what was happening. Was this a prank? Was I on some sort of hidden camera show? I mean, who does that? Remember when I said this was a dinner date? I bet you didn't see this coming. Can you believe this? A guy get me out of my house to take me out to a dumpster for dinner. I felt insulted, humiliated, and wanted to run. Imagine the scene, the unmistakable stench of garbage wafting through the air, the sight of your date nonchalantly pulling out a less than appetizing meal from a takeout box. It wasn't the rich aroma of marinara sauce and fresh basil that you'd been dreaming of, and certainly not the ambiance you'd been expecting. Suddenly, the sweatpants and t-shirt made sense, yet they did little to quell the rising tide of disbelief. It was as if you'd been sucked into some bizarre alternate reality where dumpster dining was the norm. The taste of disappointment was more potent than any meal could ever be. As he dug into the old pasta, oblivious to the horror etched on your face, you felt trapped. The city lights that once seemed so inviting now felt distant and cold. The bustling downtown New York, so full of promise, now felt like a maze with no exit in sight. The thought of being stranded with no immediate way to go home only added to the mounting dread. But amidst the chaos, there was a glimmer of determination. There had to be a way out, a way to escape this unforgettable, truly peculiar dinner date. I was grossed out, surprised, and stuck, but I had to find a way out. I was scared for my life and need a plan. Picture this. There I was, stuck with a guy munching on dumpster pasta like it's a 5-star meal. In my mind, the only way out was to feign a bathroom break. So I excused myself, leaving the man with his gourmet garbage dish. I hurried to the restaurant staff, explaining my predicament. They were as shocked as I was, but agreed to help. They called an Uber while I waited in the safety of the restaurant. The relief that washed over me as I climbed into the car was indescribable. I looked back at the restaurant, a wave of gratitude for the staff who had helped me escape the most disastrous date of my life. As the city lights faded in the rearview mirror, I realized I had dodged a major bullet. So, what did I learn from this? Let's just say, not all that glitters on Tinder is gold. And I was lucky to have come out of it alive.